So if you're watching this video, most likely you're in a position where you believe you're behind in life. You know, you see your peers, you see your coworkers, you see your friends, you see all these different environments and you believe you're behind in life. Most likely it's because you haven't been manifesting it. You haven't been living it. You haven't been living the life that you wanted. And that's why you believe you're behind in life, right? You don't have the flashy car, you don't have the flashy house. Maybe you don't even have a lot of friends, which is okay. But you're in a position where you believe that you're behind in life because you're just not living the reality you've always wanted, right? In this channel, I advocate for a life of abundance, but mainly I teach and I hope that in striving to gain a life of abundance, you're building your self-image. The first thing to even your self-image is your net worth. I've mentioned this before, but I definitely believe if you're behind in life, it's because your self-image isn't there. You've attacked life in a different way of lucky things have happened to everybody else. Bad things have happened to me. You're successful because you're lucky. Or if you had these parents, X, Y, and Z, right? Even saying, just saying anything that's radical, right? Saying that somebody's lucky. But that's not the reality. The reality is you've really warped your reality into not believing that you're more capable than what you are or who you are in the moment. You believe you're not capable of anything. You believe you're not even worth up to what other people can do or have done. Truly believe that you can't have the life that you want. And I'm here to tell you that's just not the case. I've lived in this life of believing that life comes to those that are lucky. And that's not true. Maybe life does work out where you are lucky, right? But for majority of people that have changed their life around, done a whole 360, have really created a life for themselves that they enjoy, they live a life of abundance, that came through discipline, that came through self-image, that came through building themselves night and day, being consistent, but believing and manifesting that every day, and putting themselves into that situation where they're actually growing, they're actually learning. When you're in this point in life, and if you're watching this video, it's not for a reason, that's pointless. You're watching this video because God pointed you in this way. You're watching this video because you're in that point in life where you truly believe you're behind. But I'm here to tell you it's not the case. For me, I felt behind because I wasn't eating right. That's one aspect in which I believed I was behind in life. I believed it was too late to change, right? But all this to change in terms of losing the weight I wanted to be, being more healthier, came because of my self-image. Came because I wanted to be the best version of myself. Happened because I pushed myself to be a better version every single day, even 1% better. It doesn't matter if you failed the day before, 2 days before, 3 days before. I stayed consistent. I stayed focused. I wanted it more than anybody else around me. And when you really feel behind in life, it's because you're in a place of idleness. You're not striving for anything. You're not working towards anything. You don't have a goal in mind. You're living life, but you're not actually living it. You're just going through it. Life is just coming at you. You're not going with life. You're not making life. You're not making life enjoyable because you're not really striving for more. You're not striving for a better version of you. And that's all it takes to really grow in life. That's what it really takes to live a life in abundance. And that's really what it takes if you really want to grow your self-image. It's putting yourself in uncomfortable situations and fighting yourself every day. Because that greatest enemy is your own mind. It's not that person that hates you at work. It's not that person that, won't give you money maybe. I don't know. Could be anything, right? The enemy is not the person around you or the person across from you. It's yourself. It's your mirror. That mirror. This camera right now. When I see myself, that's my enemy. Me, because of my doubts, my self disbelieving beliefs that I can't be better, I can't grow. You know, I was behind in life, and I believed I was behind in life because I made it so. Because I manifested that way. 2 years ago, I wasn't even scratching 30K. I left my job. I had to keep finding other jobs, but I wasn't even scratching 30K. And now I'm in a situation where I'm in $80,000 to $90,000 without even my stock, my performance bonuses. And I've changed that. I've changed that around because I put myself in a situation where I'm learning now. I put myself in a situation where I'm in an environment where I'm building myself every day to grow. I've done interviews for jobs or positions that I'm like, okay, cool. I just want to learn. I just want to learn what it's like to be in that position. I just want to know, if I put myself out there, what's it going to be like, right? And doing interviews for different positions or companies, I learned that everyone's going to look for something different in how you're going to lead, how you're going to manage, or how you speak about yourself, or even how you just speak in general, how you sell yourself. I learned it because I just put myself out there, and I know that I'm better now because I put myself in the most uncomfortable situations. I know I'm not going to be behind in life, or I know I'm not behind in life because I made the right choices, because I started believing in myself, because I let go of that hurdle, my head, that obstacle that says I'm not good enough. And you're only behind in life only because you speak it. You're behind in life because you believe it. But guess what? If you really just put yourself into it, stay consistent for the next 6 months, your life is going to change. Whether it's 5, 10x, 3x, 30x, 50x, whatever that variable is, however your life changes, if you just made these consistent habits, and really believe that your life can change, or that you could be better than you are right now, right? If you feel behind, let's say your friend is in a position where they're earning $150,000 a year, right? And then there's another friend earning only $40,000 a year because he still works in a retail job. But then you're closer to your friend that works in a retail job. Do you feel behind? You still feel behind? Like, you're not behind. You're not behind. Your mindset is behind. Your self-image is behind. Your self-belief is behind. But your life's not behind. Your life's only going to be behind because you put yourself into it. But you could go out there, be in the most uncomfortable situations, and make a change right now. You could put yourself out there and start believing that in the next 1 to 2 months, even just being consistent for that period of time, that your life will change. You start speaking differently, you start carrying yourself differently, you're going to grow, you're going to change, and I believe it's so. So if you're watching this video, it's not for a mistake. It's not a mistake that you're watching this video. It's not an accident. It's not a coincidence. God's sending you this way because your life will change, and your life can change starting now.